Hi, stranger.
Excuse me, I have a slight pain. Do you notice anything on my head? It's an itch or a cut that simply won't go away.
It appears to be a battle scar.
And I can't wait so we can break apart
What's going on, everyone? Super Andrew will back again with another video. This time we'll be looking over my first review, some tips and general impressions of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I normally play the series on console, however, it will be my first time playing the series on PC. I just recently got a new PC build and I've been waiting to let it loose on some of these new and upcoming games. If you'd like to see a video of my full build, comment below and I'll get on it right away. Now, let's get to it. Assassin's Creed Valhalla is the latest installment in the franchise. Being released at 9 PM Pacific Standard Time, I got plenty of time with the game and minimal sleep, especially since they allow preloading now. I started off by checking out the settings and fine-tuning everything to my needs. PC video settings will also require a reset of the game if you want to change those. I've caught myself adjusting settings more with every new game that comes out, and turns out to be a healthy habit for new PC games and gamers. In true Assassin's Creed fashion, you get to play the main character leading up to their initiation into the Brotherhood. A young Eivor, eager, willing, you get deeply rooted into his life and watch as it is all stripped away. It's a pretty rough 10 minutes to say the least. As you escape with your brother, the Animus crashes, and you are then able to choose between a male and female character, or let the Animus choose. I picked the middle.
What the hell is that?
The Animus ultimately decided for a female Eivor. If you're worried this is permanent, don't be, as you can change between male and female versions of Eivor thanks to there being a split between two data streams in the DNA. After some prompt ass-kicking, you're able to finally experience the game to a greater extent. While exploring areas is still as easy as before with great fluidity and movement, there are still some issues peppered around the map, as to be expected, but more on that later. The ration system is pretty well balanced as well, with many food options throughout the environment and an option to increase your stores. A hasty dodge and sprint to a berry bush could really save you a pinch. Sunan is your incredible flying companion and helps you spot enemies, resources, valuable loot, and quest destinations. As with other additions in this franchise, the aid of Sunan is critical towards gathering intel on potential raid or plunder. You also gain access to the skill tree. You are presented with 3 different paths. This is where you level up your character and increase your overall power. You don't have to worry too much about how you spend your skill points, since they can be reset in order for you to reallocate those spent points. Next, the inventory system. It's smooth and clean when it comes to finding equipping gear, but being able to upgrade weapons and armor as you find resources across the landscape, it's essential when you need the extra power boost or defense boost before a raid or battle. You can talk to Gunnar as well, the blacksmith, once unlocked, to upgrade your equipment. Raiding is a concept brought into Assassin's Creed Valhalla that has been phenomenal. Incredibly fun, blowing the horn, and just absolutely exhilarating rushing the beaches to find that plunder. It never stops being entertaining when you can slice through limbs and necks like butter. The gore system is very well done, a great feature that adds some not so subtle detail to the game. Combat in the game is as smooth as ever, as long as you're quick enough dodges, you can take out masses of enemies. Parrying and counter-striking is imperative to your success in combat. I'm still trying to get it down on PC myself.
Remain steadfast.
Some weapons and shields can be used with the Q button, like the flail for example is one of my favorites when going to a raid. Holding down Q on PC will activate Eivor to swing the flail in a circular motion, incredibly effective for crowd control as well as effective for looting pots and crates. By the way, anyone else feel like Link? During raids your allies may go down. You can revive them in order to get them back in the fight, but be careful, you are vulnerable in this state. A quick dodge doesn't always save you in some cases. The same goes for forcing doors and chests open.
Give me a hand over here.
They can really drag sometimes. All in all, just be careful before you force anything open.
Give me a hand!
I have found a few bugs during my first few hours of gameplay. Nothing that can't be fixed with a fast travel. Still annoying nonetheless. Aside from that, the game runs rather smoothly. Thankfully in this installment as well, all hardpoints are marked out on the map for you. Once accessed and synced, it provides you with locations of treasures, artifacts, and more. My personal strategy in the Assassin's Creed franchise is to access all the high points as quickly as possible. Not only does it provide fast travel across the world, it will be much easier to get into your quests as well. Sailing is great as always in Assassin's Creed games, but I sure do miss naval combat from Black Flag. You take to the seas and rivers in your longship, listening to tunes and stories from your crew, as well as some interesting conversations. The cinematic view provides beautiful views for you to look at while you aimlessly float and look for plunder. You can also find multiple locations across the world where you can search for loot, dive, and I'm sure have massive fights with sharks or something like that as well.
Until it's too late. If Sigurd were here, he would be sitting beside you, wiping.
Upon arriving to the first settlement, you're introduced to many characters and activities, one of my favorite being Orlog, a dice game where two players duel by rolling dice invoking god favors against each other. The game is very fun, and I can find it quite challenging at times, depending on the opponent. Another activity Eivor can take in is the chugging contest. This is where you chug 3 cups of meat before your other opponent. A game much faster and arguably even maybe a little bit more entertaining at times than Orlog.
Too strong for you.
As I said earlier, you're able to access the Animus through your menu and change from male vor to female vor as you please. I focused on the main story for some time in order to get my own settlement. After some raids and honor reclaiming, you arrive in England. I recommend this as you're able to unlock everything the game has to offer at that point. This is where the story and your adventure really takes off, to include building up your settlement, raiding many places in England, and just exploring vast lands. While I've only gotten about 10 hours of playtime, I am already hooked in onto this installment of the saga. Great graphics, compelling story, and plenty to do, Assassin's Creed Valhalla is unlike any of its predecessors. This title is great to take your mind off the world, and while Call of Duty Cold War looms in the shadows this season, I believe this game is an absolute must-have to your library, especially if you enjoy your single-player games.
You know England well from your travels.
So there you have it, everyone, my first review video on Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I should be posting more videos about this game a little bit later. I'll be getting a review video about Call of Duty out soon as well, but Valhalla is a must-have in my opinion. Thanks again for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, hit that notification button, and I'll see you next time.